Let's see if this is gonna kick in. Oh, are we back again? Back again? Let's see. Let's see if sensor tube's gonna kick in. I don't know if this is gonna kick in. I might have to set up a new stream. Rumble is kicked in, looks like it. I can't see Twitch. Are we back on Rumble? Live on Rumble? Why am I typing it? I'm just speaking it. New stream. I think I have to set up a new stream for sorry gang, I'm just trying to figure out the oh okay, open discussion. Oh no, this isn't the comic, but what are we at? Oops, I gotta change the title for this. Hold on a second. Censor tube all wacko. Hi guys, Chycho programming now to teach proper math. Forget it. The AI will not be able to teach proper math for another 50 years. Okay, that's my take. Because because for AI to be able to teach mathematics, it would have to be able to engage the needs of every individual. Just do a couple of things here, gang, and doink. Each individual separately, and AI is not able to do that. Right now, AI is just a glorified search engine. Okay, where OBS is good, is Rumble stuck? We hear you. Okay, I restart. Am I stuck on Twitch? No. Twitch looks good. Let me check this out. I think Rumble is stuck. Is Rumble stuck? Sensor tube is going. That's good. Any chycho real-time confirmation. Say crocodile shoes. Crocodile shoes. My OBS is good. It has. What I did is I had to change the cable for the mic that I'm using. That's the only different thing that I've done right now. It's Chycho Elder. Yeah, I know. It's a deep fake. Okay, I gotta let me refresh Rumble, see if we're live or not. Oh, Rumble's live too. Okay, so it was just a glitch, it was stuck. Maybe we're having the same glitch that the stock market was having today, where I saw Barrick Gold was down 99%, Berkshire Hathaway was down 99%. It was hilarious. It was like, oh, okay, something wacko going on, right? Okay, it looks like we're good, gang. I think we should be good. If there's any problems that come up, please just put it in the chat. I'm gonna keep my eyes on the chat. Let me pop out the chats because I had to restart the computer. Let me pop out the chats for Rumble, and I'll pop up the chat for Sensor Tube as well, so I can see it. Pop up chats. Whoop. Hello, Matt on Sensor Tube. Salutations. No, some people talking on Sensor Tube, but I missed it. I was trying to deal with the glitch. Deal with the glitch. Cool. Nice. We're on. Hey, Chycho on Twitch. Real MC Mike. Salutations on Rumble. Hope you're doing well. Gang, I'm Chycho. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another live stream. Today is June 3rd, 2024. This is our second go at this. We're having a little glitch. So let's do a little mathematics, right? This is just an open discussion math tutoring session. I did have a couple of things in mind to maybe go over, but I want to keep it open. I didn't know, I don't know if there was anything, anybody came in, probably lost some people, came in that needed help with something. I know it's end of the school year and people are having exams and stuff like this, and I just want to make sure, you know, the help is there if people do need it. Okay, instead of going off on tangents and talking about whatever, whatever I feel like. I rather, you know, take care of any needs that people may have. Okay, welcome back to the stream, Mr. Hizakaya. How are you doing? The donkey tail you have, is it just planted in container soil? Yeah, yeah, just potting soil. I gotta change the soils on the things. I've done the outside gardening. I've done the outside gardening. Inside, I've repotted 3 different pots, things, but I need to go through the whole inside. I got tobacco going. Okay, the seedlings. I bought big pots, put new soil in there. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 2 really big pots, and the rest medium pots for tobacco to go in there. You're back, I'm back, Cheryl. Woo! I see my video and sound is good here. Show, is it on Twitch? Okay, awesome. Good, 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 good. Christian on Sensitive. Hello, Chycho. I won't stay long, but I am glad to see you live. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be alive too. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. My blueberry bush went crazy. Yeah, I moved my father here to the town, and he had blueberry, 4 big pots of blueberry bushes that he'd planted, and one of them is crazy. So many blueberries on it. It's like wow, like huge, huge, lots of blueberries on it. And our my garden anyway is not as it's not as far as it was last year, because I remember last year I was already harvesting lettuce from my garden, but this year we haven't been, not yet. This is Chycho life. This is your this is Chycho life. Gang, gang, gang. Daniel Rubio, greetings from Venezuela. Salutations, Venezuela. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. And gang, do not forget, do not forget. Free Assange, free Assange, free Assange. Julian Assange, publishing journalist that has been crucified for trying to bring transparency and accountability of capitalist power to humanity, something that we desperately, desperately need in our societies. For more information, see wikileaks.org, candlesforassange.com, or countless resources available on free speech platforms. And I should be adding Stella's Substack account on this as well. Real MC Mike, yeah, it has been a while. Just working and catching a live stream. Nice, pretty chill day. Gonna be a good day for a live stream. Awesome, awesome. Hope you have been well. Awesome. Nice to see you, MC Mike. Everybody's been busy this year. Crazy. Everybody busy. Everybody busy. Right? Like everyone. I haven't had anyone come on and say it's been a chill year, or it's been a chill couple of years, or it's been chill 3 years, 4 years. Nobody. Nobody. Yeah, me too. Me too. Crazy busy. Crazy busy. Insanely busy. But we roll with the punches. We do what we need to do. Right? We do what we need to do. Gang, mathematics. Full 2019 Sandy. Yeah. Yeah. It's that type of vibe. And it's going to be an order of magnitude at least more intense for the next, in my humble opinion, next year to 4 to 6 years, 8 years. I've been working like a slave up north when the work is there. Nice. Is the work reducing? I know jobs are getting harder to find where I am. There are a lot of fake postings where people aren't hiring. What kind of math are we doing today? It's up to you guys. For me, I was thinking about doing maximizing revenue questions and stuff like this, just connected into economics. We've done maximizing revenue before, but it's always good to sort of revisit it. Okay, revisit that math, because it's one of the places where you can apply it into your life well, right? So it becomes math in real life. Maximizing area if you're building fences and stuff like this. We can do projectiles. I've been doing basically quadratics. Like the heaviest math I'm doing right now with a student is more quadratics. At the end of the year, the school in Canada, oh, it's a write-off, right? They should be like in classes right now that my students are in. There isn't a single class that has decided to, take 1, 2, 3 chapters that are supposed to be like multiple weeks each, to reduce them down to like 2 days, because they're way behind. They don't have enough resources, not enough teachers. The kids, because they got locked out of school, they don't know rudimentary mathematics. So higher level up teachers classes, they can't teach what's in the curriculum because the kids didn't learn what they needed to learn 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 2 years ago, a year ago, right? Remember, kids got locked out in Canada anyway for a couple of years from school, right? Remote, people are learning remotely. Are you kidding me? Right? So it's crazy here. It's crazy here. Gabriel M. Lima on Sunset. Hello, sir. When are you going to do live shows about geopolitics? I do, Gabriel. We do a lot of geopolitics, uh, more than I would like to tell you the truth. But tomorrow we're having an open discussion, so you're definitely welcome to hop in, Gabriel Lima, to talk about geopolitics, right? To talk about geopolitics. Elder God, math is nature, and nature is math. Indeed, indeed. I realize I say a few contracts have fallen through. Water transfers and fracking. I can I can see drying up due to possible droughts this summer in certain areas. Rigs are firing back up soon. Are they? Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, in my area, there's the job market is drying up a little bit. I've talked to a couple of people. They're having a hard time finding jobs, and one of them has been. They had to let her go, but she's having a hard time finding a job. Right, this is someone with a master's degree. Right, incredibly good worker. If I had a company like integrity, honestly, hard work, intelligent, like like if I had a company that I needed people and I had the funds to hire people, whoop, sign up, right? But having a hard time when we breaking out the real analysis, cryptography, and differential equation at some point. Once I get my math curriculum done, the booklets and the exercises and stuff, I'll go deeper into mathematics, and that's going to be 5 years at best, right? Maybe 10 years. We'll do it in my retirement, maybe when I'm like 95. If I have two brain cells left to rub together still, right? I'll be your first student for those, haha. Yeah, I would love to actually. I got a lot of cryptography books, to tell you the truth, that I inherited, um, and differential equations and tensors, and just every hardcore math, like PhD level math books, right? Gee, how are you doing a math stream? I haven't been able to join these for a while. Nice, nice, nice. I like the math. I like the math. It's nice and chill, and it's happy, right? Gang, should we do maximum revenue problem? Let's just talk about a little bit of financial economics, financial economics, financial mathematics. Sorry to disturb, but by any chance, any snacks today? I have actually. I just got the dried figs. Dried figs. I like eating dried figs. I don't have any dark chocolate. If I had any dark chocolate, I'd be munching these with dark chocolate. But right now, just eating some dried figs, and they're nice crunch crunch. I like figs and dates are two of my power foods. Mr. Chang, salutations on Censor 2. 16 dried figs. You eat 16 dried figs, you better drink a lot of water. You poop like a bear. More chycho. Sounds good to me. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. Again. Okay, let's do the simple one first. Okay. Oh, you were counting mine. 16? No, this would have been, I think this was around 7 figs. And they're addictive and they got a crunch to them. What are we calculating today? AI info. Mr. Brain Freeze, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. And check this out, guy. This is one thing I learned when I was taking math class, and when I was doing, when I was teaching math, and I was doing a fair bit of stock trading and stuff like this. 24 years ago, 25 years ago, right? And one of the things companies like to do, right? One of the things companies like to do, let's say profit. Let's put profit here. You know, well, do you want to put profit? You put time here. Anyway, time is usually on the x-axis. Okay, and let's put money here. We'll just put money. We're not going to call it profit revenue yet, right? So what you do with a company in general, if you're making something, if you're delivering something, maybe a product or a service or whatever it is, time the fourth dimension controls that, right? If you're doing any type of company, the purpose of the company in general is to generate revenue, profits, right? So if you're making something, you're a service company or whatever, you have a certain set fixed cost base, and then as you make products, your expenses go up, or if you hire more people, your expenses go up, right? So let's call this expenses, the expense chart. Maybe it's like this. The odds are it tapers down, goes like this, right? Because if you're making products, if you make bulk, costs you less, right? So let's call this expenses. Now your revenue, if you're a company, let's see if we've got a different color pen. Let's bring out this guy. Let's do blue. I do have blue there too, but let's bring out a fresh blue. Let me see if these ones are any good. That's not bad. Let's use this one. Now, once you become a company, you start selling your product. The odds are you probably don't sell your product right off the bat, starting at 0 date that you started your company, right? So after a certain time, you start generating revenue, right? The odds are it goes like this, it goes like this, you get an order, it goes like this, goes like this, goes like this. Hopefully it goes like this. And this is revenue. Right? Now, the way it works is the difference between your expenses and your revenue is your profit, right? So profit is equal to R of X, or R of T, let's say, R of T minus expenses, let's call it E of T, right? So expenses, we're going to say E of T, and that's your function, and your profit or your revenue is R of T, usually it's just R of X, right? And the difference here is your profit. Let's call this, let's put this in green. So this would be your profit, right? And this is really what you want. You want to see your profits increase, the gap here increase. And there's 2 ways you could do this. You could generate more revenue or reduce your expenses, right? Generating more revenue is marketing, better product, buying out mergers and acquisitions, buying out your competitors, what do you call it, sabotage, espionage, whatever you end up doing, right? So, Mr. Brainfreeze, have you, Chycho, have you seen Terrence Howard? Oh, I knew this was going to come out. We'll talk about it. The Terrence Howard's theories. Okay, we'll talk about it. So that's one way, you know, the way you can visualize it, right? Now, one of the things that I learned is that comes up a fair bit because I followed stock market trading and stuff like this. In general, a lot of companies, they have this general revenue going up, right? If they take over more areas, it's expanding and whatnot. It's the expenses that are the killer, really, because you got to keep your expense, keep a handle on your expenses. And what happens if you're working in a company, and I'll give you one example that it stuck with me. It was regarding American Airlines, right? This is back in the day. I haven't flown on a plane for over 20 years now. I just decided I'm done traveling. I'm staying where I am because I used to fly around on planes a lot, right? Doing geophysics and just traveling in the States and stuff like this. And what I ended up doing, apologies if I'm not reading the chat, gang. What was to see those? I've seen those. I like his new table. Yeah, I gotta address that. This stuck with me when it hit my radar. Was somebody at American Airlines? I don't even know if American Airlines is still around. Airlines, let's say Air. All right. Back in the 80s, 90s, when you used to fly around, in early 2000s, I believe, they used to give you food service, right? Like if you bought a ticket, you know, if you traveled long distance, you got, you know, breakfast, dinner, lunch, or whatever. If you traveled short distance, you usually got a little sandwich, like a croissant sandwich with little things on the sides and stuff like this, right? And then sometimes free drinks and stuff. Alaska Airlines was really good for that. They give you good meals on for plane food, right? But one time I saw where American Airlines, they were trying to cut expenses, reduce expenses, because airline industry is just a, in terms of investing, it's just a scam. They're 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 rarely profitable, right? They're rarely profitable, and when they are, it's usually just a small blip, right? And they're using a lot of tax revenue, tax write-off and stuff like this, and they do their thing, right? But this thing hit my radar where one Joe Blow in American Airlines looked at the meals that American Airlines was providing, right? This would have been whatever. They got different compartments for different things they're providing. And what they did, they reduced the cost of these meals by like 5 cents, right? 5 cents. And the amount of money that this one person ended up saving American Airlines, right, over a year period was in the order of like $10 million or $12 million, right? Because they were serving so many meals, right? So let's say $10 million. Let's not go 12. Let's go $10 million, right? Saved per year. Per year. Okay. And American Airlines at the time went, oh, they got good people working there, good management, and the stock did a little jump up, right? I can't remember when this was. It was like 20 plus years ago, right? 20 plus years ago. Okay. Now, right now, the way a lot of companies are saving money is by keeping the packaging of the item the same, but reducing the amount of material in the packaging. That's one thing I've seen where, let's say you have a box, right, of something that you're buying, okay, where it used to be 50 grams of something you bought, right? But now the same box, the size is the same, but inside the box is 40 grams. Take a look at this. Okay, you might notice that this is something that's happening with stuff you've been buying. Shrinkflation, right? Thanks, C Death. Okay, shrinkflation, right? So the box stays the same, but the material reduces. It's deceptive. It's deceptive. Or another thing that's been going on, if you've been buying a certain product, it's easy for me to draw boxes, so I draw boxes, right? Certain products, the ingredients change. Ingredients change. Now, why did the ingredients change? There are multiple reasons it could happen. One of them, they found a better supplier, right? Cheaper supplier, so they get it from a new place. They buy from another country where labor is less expensive, or they are forced to find a new supplier because the supply chain has been cut. The supply chain is broken, right? And this is something you would have noticed in the last 4 years. And I've seen the flavor of certain things that we were buying, the flavors change because the ingredients has changed. Okay, they're getting cheaper and cheaper products, or replacing some old some ingredients they had with new ingredients because they can't get those older ingredients. Okay, I just wanted to lay this out because it's something that you have to keep in mind if you're going to start your own company or anything like this, right? Yeah, unhealthier, see that unhealthier, cheaper substitutes, 100%, like canola or 100%, or ketchup has 2% tomatoes and the rest is sugar. Yeah, yeah. We don't buy ketchup. I don't buy ketchup anymore. It's been a long time, right? Jonah, Callus, Waga on substitute. What is the meaning of the matrix for you? Please explain. And is that so that we can program the matrix and bring these programs into reality in our lives? Please explain. Wait, greetings, Netherlands. Salutations, Netherlands. Budget soya milk. Budget soya milk. Elder God says. It could be motor oil. Regarding matrix, in terms of what? There's a lot of people say we live in a matrix. We live in a what do you call a hologram. But the matrix to me means something that you can control to a certain degree, that you can program, as you said, right? I personally don't think we're living a full-on matrix. Mr. Brain Freeze, extra virgin olive oil only. Everything else is trash. Here's the thing with olive oil. You're not supposed to use it in high heat, right? I think medium heat is okay. So what do you use for when you're cooking in high heat? See, the canola was used as a machine lubricant. Then someone said, hey, let's try cooking with it. Geniuses, right? Reduce the expense, profits increase, right? Synthberry, humans today have 5 times the linoleic acid in their bodies that our ancestors had because of seed and vegetable oils. Yeah, that's one thing Cliff High says. Don't use any seed oil whatsoever, right? No seed oils. If I recall correctly, he says lard is good, animal fat is good. Keanu, how are you doing? You use butter. You use butter on high heat. Okay, I like butter. Merrick, what happens if you cook olive oil on high heat? It changes its structure. I looked into this before, but I didn't pay too much heat to it. I just know you're not supposed to heat up olive oil or extra virgin olive oil anyway. So use butter in high heat. Yeah, I still use olive oil for cooking, but I don't crank it up to high heat. Low to medium, I'm not sure 100% sure if that's okay or not. But it changes its molecular structure, I believe, where your body doesn't absorb it the way it does virgin unheated. Especially cold press, I believe, is supposed to be good. Wow, we'll certainly look into this. Thanks, guys. Yeah, Merrick, look into it, and if link it up on our Gilded server, right? Link it on our Gilded server. So that's one thing I just wanted to just lay this out again, because whenever I talk about financial mathematics, and I do with students and stuff like this, this is something that I lay out right at the beginning. Just say, look, keep this in mind: expenses, profits, usually in general, expenses and revenue and profits, usually in general, once you get a company, the ball rolling for a company, the best way that you can increase your profit, this gap between revenue and expenses, is to reduce your expenses, which is something that people do. That's why a lot of stocks, if you watch the stock market, a lot of companies, when they come out with news where they say they're laying off a whole bunch of people, the stock goes up. Keep track of the stock market if you haven't. Watch companies that announce layoffs. Those companies that announce layoffs, there's got to be a root cause for the layoffs, but those companies that announce layoffs, their stock usually goes up, because what they just did, they reduced their expenses. So investors are like, rock and roll, right? It all depends on the cause, of course, right? Kiana, what is your take on mutual funds? Depends on the mutual fund. Depends on the mutual fund. Personally, I've been telling people not to be really in the markets right now, stock markets anyway. There are certain stocks that are well worth investing in. There's a lot of stocks that are pure garbage, pump and dump, and they're riding on fluff or hype, right? And in general, the overall atmosphere for locking in, it's unstable. Geopolitics is unstable. The supply chains can be cut, right? And there's a lot of fanatics ruling over, especially the Western world, so you can't trust them. And they've introduced laws where they're allowed to do bail-ins, where they could seize people's funds and assets. That's including stocks, right? You might not be the owner of your stock if you have stocks, mutual funds. Okay, you might not have those stocks. Okay, it's just the way it works, right? You might be an unsecured investor if you have your stocks. The secured investors, if a company goes liquid, has to go liquidate, the secured investors will get paid out and you won't, right? Martin Armstrong's talked a lot about this, others as well. Who else was I listening to? Paul Craig Roberts. Paul Craig Roberts has covered this a lot recently. Like he put out some 3 main articles, and he's done a lot of interviews with it. So look into it. Paul Craig Roberts has talked about this. Martin Armstrong has talked about this. So it's quite interesting. Controllers in. So if you lay off Elder God, you will make money. I don't think so. I don't pay Elder God anything. Sorry, Elder God. Elder God, I join a union if I were you. Hilarious, hilarious. Regarding Terrence, what's his name? Terrence Howard? What was his name? Terrence. Where'd it go? Terrence. Oh man, where'd it go? Terrence Howard. Yeah, Terrence Howard has a website. So since we're saying Terrence Howard has a website where he's hosting a common competition to create a drone that can fly in orientation using hexagonal architecture he calls the linchpin, and someone made one of it works. Oh, okay. I haven't looked into it. I haven't looked into Terrence Howard deeply, right? Chycho, have you seen Terrence Howard's theories? He was on Joe Rogan recently. Seems a little loony. Here, Mr. Brainfreeze, just give you guys my take on Terrence Howard. Uh, Flow, what was the movie he was in? Flow, he was rapping. Fantastic movie, by the way. Oh man, what was the movie? Flow and Hustle, Hustle and Flow. Is that the movie? Hustle and Flow, Hustle and Flow. Yes, Hustle and Flow. That's where I know Terrence Howard from. Flow and Hustle's controllers. That's where I know Terrence Howard from. Hustle and Flow, fantastic movie. And it's hip hop. It's, you know, it's got kink in it. It's got this in it. It's got that in it. So it was super fun. Iron Man. Oh, you only know him through Iron Man. Actually, I don't remember him through Iron Man. I know him through Hustle and Flow, right? And I've seen him some other places, but it hasn't stuck, right? And he's got like the light blue eyes and stuff like this. So he's very distinctive features, right? But Hustle and Flow stuck with me, right? And wow, he hasn't received any royalties from the song, from that movie. He didn't, but did he write the song or the songs, or was he just an actor and the writers wrote those songs, right? I don't know. Like Hollywood, the movie industry, the music industry, it's just scam, right? So I, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if he's not making money from it, right? But it's just recently that I came across his his mathematics. That's what I came across on, right? He played the roadie for the first time. Don took over after. Okay, yeah, that's here. See that they're saying this. I definitely don't like his 1 times 1 equals 2 or whatever. Like, what the fuck? See that? I'm 100% with you on this, because someone on BitChute came along uh, on a video that I posted like 2 weeks ago or something like this, and he brought up Terrence Howard, right? And I was like, Terrence Howard. So I looked him up. I went, oh, he's the actor. And the person asked me, Chycho, what do you think about Terrence Howard's 1 times 1 equals 2, the mathematics that he's been sharing? And I went, well, 1 times 1 equals 2. It just doesn't jive with me, right? Because it's low IQ, low IQ rat. If it's just talking about 1 times 1 equals 2, 1 times 1 equals 1, mathematics, the 5 axioms of mathematics, it's just a language, it's just syntax. 1 times 1 equals 1, right? So I went, okay, I'll look this up. So I went Terrence Howard, and I came across his Twitter feed, right? And I went, oh, this is Terrence Howard, Hustle and Flow, right on. Woo, let's check this out, right? And he posted something about 1 times 1 equals 2 on a Twitter feed where he had like 4 or 5 images on it, right? And I like just his reasoning behind it, like a proof, right? And I read the first page or the second page. Like, I don't know, I might have skimmed through the first page and read the second page or something, and I saw some issues with his proof. One of the reasons is because people are going around and saying he's saying 1 times 1 equals 2, and right away you realize that he's not saying according to the syntax of the language of mathematics, right? He's not really saying that when you're doing math, the syntax of math means 1 times 1 equals 2. He's saying this in special cases. So there's assumptions, disclaimers to this statement. But unfortunately, a lot of people are taking this and saying 1 times 1 equals 2, and math is wrong. So I came back to the person. I said, look, you know, I don't know too much about the thing, Terrence Howard, but this is pretty low IQ. 1 times 1 is not 2. Syntax of the language of mathematics, no units involved. We're not saying one, I don't know, whatever unit you want to call it, a box times 1 triangle equals 1 box triangle. right? One box triangle, right? Because this is not true. 1 times 1 equals 1 based on the 5 axioms of mathematics. No units involved. But as soon as you introduce units, right, whatever these units might be, this might not be true, right? So for example, one vector this way times another vector this way, right? Or adding, well, adding, we're talking about adding, but I don't want to get into the vector stuff, may not be. You know, it's like the here, I'll give you the best example I have here. Let's do adding, because I don't want to get into multiplication. Multiplication becomes a little complicated if you're doing different units and stuff like this. But let's say you're adding. So 1 plus 1 equals 2, right? But you could also say 1 plus 1 equals 0, right? If you add units or direction, right? Make these vectors, right? And these could be vectors too. So if you have one unit vector going this way and add this with another unit vector going this way, then this plus this, if this is 1 and this is 1, then 1 plus 1, here we'll do blue, and so 1 plus 1 equals 2. Okay, 1 plus 1 equals 2. However, you could also do this. You could have this one vector going this way, right? And then you add a vector going in this direction. You could call that minus, but you could just say east, west, right? This way, then if you add this and this, you get 0, because you don't go anywhere. It's like forces, right? So as soon as you start talking about forces, if you got some kind of body here, you got this guy pushing these stick figures pushing this way and another guy pushing this way. If they're equal and opposite forces, then this doesn't move. But if you take this guy and say, hey, you ding-a-ling, come over here, we want to move this guy, and this guy starts pushing this way again, then this body moves that way. So that's my take on his 1 times 1 equals 2. I think it's, you know, it could be people interpreting it. I didn't bother reading the rest of the pages he had. It just turned me off of it, right? And then I saw his interview with Joe Rogan, right? No, I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched like 15-20 minutes of it, where he started talking about some esoteric stuff, and you know, and it came up later, oh, he has all these patents and he's not being paid by the patent. But patent doesn't mean shit. There's lots of people that have patents that don't make any money. It cost them a lot of money to get the patent, but the patent's useless, right? And patent this and patent that and blah 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 blah, right? So I was like, okay, whatever. And I didn't bother watching the whole thing. And then I saw Cliff High, or heard listen to Cliff High's audios that he releases on Substack, his podcast, and he brought up Terrence Howard, mentioning that Terrence Howard has read some of the people that Cliff High has read, and they're legit people, and he's quoting these people. But from what Terrence Howard was saying, he hadn't read at least one other person that Cliff High says is extremely important to read, because it puts into context some of these people. And Terrence Howard was quoting this one other person that has been proven to be a scam artist, right? Just a grifter. So Terrence Howard was quoting this one person that was a grifter because he didn't know he was a grifter. And the reason that Cliff High was giving why Terrence Howard was approaching it, you know, sharing all this information, which some of it might not be true and some of the information he's missing, is because Terrence Howard most likely is listening to these people or reading their stuff with an optimist lens, where he's assuming that these people are telling the truth, while Cliff High, very cynical, very old school, whenever he reads anybody or listens to them or anything like this, he goes in there with the assumption that they're wrong and they're a grifter. So he needs to be proven that these people have valid theories, right? So once you do it that way, it's a lot harder to be fooled, right? If you go through it with you know, your innocent perspective on information coming your way, where you assume that the person sharing information is legitimate and they're not hiding anything from you, then you might get fooled, right? So, and this is something that our community, those of us that were on Gilda and Discord before that, when these things were rolled out in the last 4 years, right? Those of us who went into it saying, hey, there's something wrong here, question authority, you would have been spared possibly some serious trauma. Where those people who assumed that authority, right, was had their best interest in mind, might have been seriously screwed, right? Now I don't know if Terrence Howard was one of those people, but I sure know that Cliff High was not, right? So as soon as that happens, you realize, okay, this person has more critical thought. Now you guys let us know. I haven't bothered looking into it because I don't care as much regarding what Terrence Howard has to say, because I've read whatever, not everything, but a fair bit of stuff regarding Tesla, his electromagnetics, magnetics, EM fields, frequencies, all this stuff regarding electromagnetics and stuff 20 years ago, 30 years ago, because I did my degree in geophysics, electromagnetic, and I realized that there's a lot more to life and energy and existence, and there's a lot of BS being shared through corporate science, authority teaching BS, a lot of lies where they've omitted a lot of information regarding everything health, from health to our understanding of the universe and all this jazz. So Terrence Howard to me seemed like someone who was trying to share that, but I wasn't really into the way he was sharing it, right? Because a lot of stuff was okay, I knew that, well, that sounds a little wacko, I would have to look into that, but you have to dig into it a lot more. There's a lot of people that was mentioning that I haven't read, so I would have to read them to do critical analysis on them to see if this guy's telling the truth or if he's just cherry picking some of the information and sharing that information. Because throughout history, I've gone down the rabbit hole of a lot of people, and there's a lot of people that have shared a lot of info, have talked elegantly and very authoritatively regarding certain mathematical and physics concepts, where you listen to them, you go, wait a second, what are you, a grifter, or are you just low IQ? So I wasn't really into going down that rabbit hole too much, right? Because 1 times 1 does not equal 2 in mathematics. Now if you take these, depending on the units, and multiply them, you might get something else, but what is it are you talking about? I'm not interested going down that rabbit hole. As soon as the person says 1 times 1 is 2, you just go, okay dude, clarify please. Okay, are you just being controversial for the sake of being controversial, right? I'd rather listen to people like Cliff High really go down the rabbit hole. Okay. Eldegot, to prepare for his role, Terrence Howard interviewed 123 pimps and 78 prostitutes over 2.5 years. He lived with 4 different pimps, including a month-long stint in Memphis brothel. He survived that shit. Okay, I'm missing some chat. Yikes. Okay. Lark Bark, how are you doing? First, okay, I'm gonna catch up on the chat on Twitch gang. I don't know why he would say that. I have one of one thing, so I have one. It's logical. It's logical. See that? Control Zen. Howard starts to sound manic when he talks about his theories. I'm not mathematically literate enough to prove any of his stuff though. Yeah, tell you the truth, I'm not either. On that level, I'm not interested in going down that route. I saw a couple of flaws in the 2 pages that I looked at, and I was like, okay, I don't want to take this apart. It takes energy to do that. I've got other things to do. Synthberry, what he says is that number 2 is the only number where it's square cubed is equal to square times itself, square cubed, which is true and very strange, but I don't think it debunks conventional math like he claims. Yeah, it doesn't. Whatever I've read or saw him say, it doesn't debunk conventional mathematics. And then one thing he was talking about was like there is no such things in straight line in nature, and you know it's the same thing with circles. There are no what do you call it, perfect circles in nature, right? And he was saying there are no straight lines in nature. If you zoom into it, you get little things, and there's nothing. Okay, yeah, so what? I mean, there's in mathematics, when we talk maps, right? When we do circles, trigonometry, and stuff like this, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and all this jazz, that's Euclidean geometry. That means flat plane, 2D map. But we have mathematics that goes beyond that, right? So one of the things we do in math, right, like here, Euclidean geometry basically means flat surface mathematics, right? So with flat surface mathematics, if I draw a triangle, it doesn't have to be right angle triangles. The sum of the angles A, B, C, so angle A plus angle B plus angle C is equal to 180 degrees. That's one of the properties of a triangle that's drawn on a flat surface, right? But this doesn't hold true if the triangle is not on a flat surface. So if you, for example, take the Earth, this is my Earth. Sorry, it's actually the equator should be polished. Let me try this better. It's not an egg, but it's a sideways egg, I guess. So here's the Earth, right? That's a better circle, right? Here's the Earth, right? And here's the equator. Here's the equator. Now you could draw a triangle here, right? You could take these lines. I always mess up these lines. Are these the latitude or longitude? Seriously, I always mess it up. So you could take this line, right? And then take another line, right? That goes to the equator. This should meet at top. Sorry. And at the equator, your longitudinal lines, longitudinal, latitudinal, someone tell me, please. I want to make sure I'm using the right words, right? So the equator line and these vertical lines, right? They cross at 90 degrees at the equator, and then they meet at the top here, right? I forget to see that, I know. And there's a certain angle there. Or if they meet, this is a triangle on a sphere, right? Lat is flat. That's how I remember latitude. Lat is flat. Long, longitudinal. Okay, longitudinal, north south. So these are longitudinal, these are latitudinal. Thank you very much, Plutarino, right? So that's 90 degrees. This is 90 degrees, and this is whatever it is, depending on how wide your longitudinal what do you call it, lines are, right? So on a globe, this doesn't work. Angle A plus angle B plus angle C is, I don't know, less than, greater than 180 degrees. We don't know how much greater, but it's greater, right? Okay, so we're gonna have Terrence Howard come along and say trigonometry is not correct. Well, no, for F's sakes, what are you talking about? This is not correct. This is wrong. Well, no, it's right if you're on Euclidean flat surface, and it's something else if you're on a globe. Like, it's just simple as that, right? Now, do you want to go down the rabbit hole, spend a lot of time for someone that comes along and says this is incorrect, and he builds a whole theory on this thing? I don't know. I don't want to trash talk Terrence Howard. I haven't looked into the rest of his stuff, right? I'm just want to say that I'm not really interested to go down that rabbit hole, because I've gone down that rabbit hole with many other people, right, in the past. And it's good exercise, fun to do, but man, I got other things to do, right? Show me symbolic logic, right? Like, yeah, like, don't rationalize. And then all these assumptions, all these proofs and disproofs and stuff, like, they all have like assumptions associated with them, and some of those assumptions are like world shattering. Oh, I don't know, I can't even think of assumptions on that level, right? So that, you know, they might have one assumption that dismisses a whole shitload of other things, and if you do that, then yeah, you could come up with whatever you want, right? But is that a valid assumption to put in there? I don't know. I don't know all those assumptions, right? A fun exercise. You know, I think there was a hustle and flow too, but I don't think he was starring in it. You know, maybe you should do some rapping with mathematics or something, right? I don't know. That's my take on Terrence Howard. It was fun, but I couldn't be bothered to listen to the whole Rogan interview. I listened to like 15 minutes. I was like, okay, I'm already tired and bored. Like, there was a lot of me in there. He was talking about long as my vertical, long as your vertical. Okay, longitudinal, latitudinal, longitudinal, right? And this is cool. I like this. I love this. Like, trigonometry is amazing. I love trig, right? Explains a lot. Light, sound, like, what the hell? You can't dismiss all of mathematics because you have some assumption using certain units to come up with whatever. And what was the thing that he says? The square root thing. Where was it? Oh, someone posted that. So Lark Bark. Damn, where'd it go? Oh yeah, there it is. Synthberry. What he says is the number 2 is the only number where it's square cubed is equal to its square times itself. Hold on, let's write this down. It's square cubed. It's square root or square. Says that the number 2 is the only there. By the way, there are so many special numbers out there that you could mess around with them, that they're special. There it is. Square root of 2 cubed. There, thanks, Synthberry. Let me write this down. Square root of 2 cubed. So square root of 2 cubed is equal to the square root of 2 times 2. Equal to square root of 2 times 2, right? Okay, well, what the f? So what? This is like low IQ math. Watch this. Okay, so when you got a square root and a cube, you could just go like this. This is 2 here. This can go in the denominator, right? So this is 2 cubed over 2, right? right? This is, oh, by the way, we'll put a question mark here, right? According to the laws of math, we could do this, right? We're trying to prove this. I put question mark. Usually you don't even put an equal sign, right? You go left side, right side. So here, left side of the equation, right side of the equation. Let's work our way through this, see if we can make one side equal to the other side. This is 2 to a power of a half times 2 to the power of 1. That's what that means. Square root is half. And when you're multiplying two things, right, you just add the exponent. So 1 over 2 plus 1, which is equal to 2. Common denominator is 2, so that becomes 1 plus 2, which is 2. 3 over 2. Okay, fine and dandy. That's what this is. Yay, yay, yay. Okay. Okay, okay. Right? Now here's another way you can look at it, right? This here, square root of 2 times 2, you could write it as 2 square root 2. Same thing, right? It's just better writing it this way. You never write it that way, right? Over here, you could write it like this, right? So square root of 2 cubed, you could write it as square root of 2 cubed. You could cube it first, right? Well, if you cube 2, you get 8. Square root of 8, right? Well, square root of 8 is 2 times 2 times 2, and we've talked about this. Well, square root of 8, square root means you can grab two things that are the same, bring them out as one thing. So this becomes 2 square root 2. Yay! Yay! Like, I see why chycho's laughing. Like, what the F? What's the fucking big deal? Hello, big dog. Hello, bull pill. How are you doing? So, I don't know. It's just silly to me. Like, okay. Should we try another number? Let's try another number. Ready? Let's, now that we know the two different ways we can go about this, let's try another number. Let's do this. So we could do this. We could do this. Ready for this? Square root. Let's go cube roots. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. I'm trying. Terrence thinks it's some big and then yeah. I've been in parties. Where people have done a little bit too much drugs, and they know I like mathematics. And they come along to me and they go, Chycho, I discovered the meaning of the universe. Really? And meanwhile, one time this happened, and it was a build-up, because for 2 months, another friend that was really good friends with this person, right, was telling me that this person come out with mathematics, the meaning of the universe. I was like, oh, dude. And I knew, they were doing a little too much partying, right? And those that really end up, they talk a lot, but it's a lot of BS, right? It's just garbage. Just oh God, stop talking, right? So at this party we meet. We ended up being at the same party. It was a big party, and the person came up to me and said. And anyway, the conversation went there, and he started talking about this thing. I was like, oh, I was getting a headache. I didn't feel like dealing with it, and I wasn't in the mood at that time. And then a month later, 2 months later, I saw them again at another party. I said, hey, how did do you want to explain that math thing you were talking about last time? That it was it was a big deal. And they said, oh yeah, no, it's okay, I was mistaken. I was like, oh dude, for fucking months you anyway, that's what it sounds like. I didn't want to drop too much information regarding this. I'll have to look for Terrence movie quote. Here, check this out. You could say 3 is equal to, here, let's reduce it instead of me trying to do it. This becomes you could write this as 3 to the power of 4. 3 to the power of 4 means 3 4s multiplied together, right? So it becomes 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Cube root means you could take 3 of them, bring them out as 1. So this becomes 3 cube root of 3. 3, 3, 3. Wow! Wow! So incredible, where cube root of 3 to the power of 4 is, I don't know if it's the only one, but it's cube root of 3 times 3. And I can guarantee you that this is the only one that will have 3's in there, and it has 3's like this. So this is really equal to 3 cube root of 3 times 3. Like, I don't, like, just random shit, right? Yeah, that was a red flag. Like, like, I don't know, it's just silly, right? Like, don't we have better things to do than this, right? It's good mental exercise. It's fun. I mean, playing with numbers is fun, right? At least it gets people looking into mathematics, the rules of mathematics, the syntax of the language of mathematics, and stuff like that. But anybody that comes along and says, I found a number that has the meaning of life, right? The only numbers that I know of that are really special, right, are 0, I, pi, square root of -1, and e, right? There are some other ones, but these are the core ones. And there's more meaning in 0. Like, if you can understand the concept of 0, which is directly linked up to infinity, which isn't really a number, it's a limit or an unknown, man, this concept here, this thing here, has sent 3 of the, what was it? There was a documentary on lawful knowledge or something like this. It made one of the greatest mathematicians in the world kill himself, and 2 other ones sent them to an insane asylum. And Terrence Howard comes along and says, what the hell was it? The cube, no, the square root of 2 cubed is the only number. The square root of 2 cubed is the only number where it's the square root of 2 times 2. Oh, I mean, for fuck's sakes. Genius. Really? I hope that's not it. I hope that's not his final thesis. No respect to Terrence, but you're cracking me up. Oh, his controller is insane. No, where is it? Where is it? Anyway, it's funny. It's funny. It's funny. Well, sorry, I was going off. I wasn't keeping up with chat. I was just seeing random stuff. See that? I know a researcher who has been going 2 years, thinks he finds the secret to everything in the world. He's gone absolutely insane. Nothing he says is compelling, but he believes everything 100%. Yeah, people go down the rabbit hole and something breaks, right? Their own rabbit hole and something breaks. And a lot of this is associated with people that refuse to accept that they might have made a mistake. They might have gone down the wrong rabbit hole. They might have, their assumptions might have been incorrect, or they wasted their time, right? And there are mathematicians that do this and they go insane, or they commit suicide, or they become alcoholics. There's a lot of alcoholic mathematicians out there, right? They refuse to accept that they might have made a mistake and wasted months, weeks, days. I doubt it. Days, weeks, months, years. The longer someone lives in a delusion, the more difficult it is for them to pull out. Yes, he refuses to accept any mistakes. Yeah, it really is. I mean, all you have to do right now is look at the people that bought into the recommendations of authority, right, in the last 4 years, where all this data is coming out. All this data is coming out, and there's definitely something wrong with a lot of authority that was pushing certain agenda over the last 4 years, right? But there's still people that refuse to question their decisions to follow the dictates, the mandates of authority. Crazy, right? Cheryl, and to be fair, some are physically, chemically incapable of it. Agreed. There is a lot of mental illness in the society, if that's what you're referring to, Cheryl, right? Simple. Have you seen the movie Pi? Yeah. It was one of our recommended movies to watch. It's pretty good. It's not bad. I liked it the first 2 times I saw it years ago, and then when I watched it again this time, I really didn't like the extreme sound. There was a lot of all, it was quiet, and all of a sudden the sound would kick in. It was just nerve-wracking for me, so I didn't like that aspect of it. But I liked the sort of the theme of it, for sure, for sure. Controls, and it's like a prospector who has gold fever. Yeah, working a mine their entire life, they must think the gold is just right around the corner. Indeed, a lot of gamblers do this, right? They chase that bet. They double up, double up, double up, double up. Right? There's a lot of gambleaholics. A lot of people that have gone bankrupt gambling, ruined their lives and their families' lives because they're addicts. Right? It's an addiction. It's an addiction. Elder God Pie's madness on screen. Elder God loved Pie. Cheryl, yes, but I think it's important to acknowledge that mental illness is a physical, chemical thing, not something to be bootstrapped. Yeah, agreed. There's a lot of chemical imbalances. That being said, Cheryl, there are a lot of people that, because of their stubbornness and their decision to accept that they might have been duped or they might have made a mistake, they put themselves in that state, right? So there is a certain amount of personal choice. There is no, without a doubt, that there's a biological thing happening where people have chemical imbalances, but there are a lot of people that live a certain way that oh heck yes, 100. Thank you, sure. I want to make sure I'm getting my the idea across correctly without butchering it. But there are a lot of people that over the years they've made so many mistakes and refuse to accept those mistakes, where after a certain while they've cracked their brains, right? They've cracked themselves, and it's impossible to put them back together, or no one can put themselves back together except them. And a lot of people will never accept some tragic mistakes that they might have made, right? Might have made. So it's all over the place, all over the place, right? All over the place. Fun. Should I show you guys? Oh, what time is it? We're going an hour and a half. I'm gonna do this one because if any comic book aficionados are here that watch this later, right? They'll appreciate this. 420. Is it 420? Oh, it is 421. Where you are, you're in East Coast time, Merrick. Wow. So delusion can be an addiction in its own way. 100%, 100%, Merrick. 100%. No, Elder God, it's not. Elder God, tell you, I try to get my hands on some Batman books, but I got outbid. East Coast is the best coast. Check this out. I'm gonna have to put stickies on this. I'm gonna have to put stickies on this because the cover is not. I'm gonna show this. It's just to give you the background on this. I will send you. I never knew researchers could get so far off the beaten path till I watched that dude. Which one? The Terrence guy? Yeti Punk, check this out. Yeti Punk, hey Chycho, I guess I came in at the right time. Did I hear? You did hear comics. Check this out. Now this is, as you know, as I mentioned, I've been just reading comic books that I bought like 3 years ago now, I guess, for like 25 cents, right? So I've just been going through them. I found some gems in there, some like really good reads, like fantastic reads. I was like crazy happy with them. And then the other day I was reading. Hold on, let me grab this too. Hold on, let me grab this too. Check this out. Check this out. So I was going through the last box that's left for me to go through, right? And I came across this cover is safe. This cover is safe. Naughty Bits. Roberta Gregory. Naughty Bits. Number 4, right? And this is a comic book series that came out. The creator, it's from Fantagraphic, and Fantagraphic is one of the independent comic book, and they're putting out a lot of mature stuff and a lot of alternative stuff, black and white stuff, sort of controversial stuff, adult oriented stuff, so stuff that, you know, regular Joe Blow X-Men reader would probably not be reading. I was. I pick up this stuff, right? So I read this one, and this is a creator. The creator, I believe she's lesbian, right? She considers herself a dyke for in one of the pages, right? And it's actually pretty good. Where, check this out. The last on this page, the last thing that she does. This is her, right? And she starts talking about she's getting definitely a comic grant pick up, definitely. She starts talking about, you know, letters she's been getting, and she starts talking about this story that she put out regarding a dyke, and then this person got a bad letter regarding it, and then a lesbian, a dyke, sent her a message in support, and she contacted him, and the dyke said, no, you can't classify yourself with this. And then she goes, hold on, let me considering I had already written stories about dykes that were, where is it, Naughty Bits, with a saying, oh yeah, with a letter saying it's based on stereotypical lies and it's not dyke positive. In other words, she doesn't think it's PC enough. And then she goes on and says that people are saying I'm really bi and I don't belong in her comic book. So she asked me if I'm a dyke. You know, I feel pretty insulted by that, considering I had already written stories about dykes that were being published in the underground comics about the same time little Miss PC was at grammar school learning how to read. So a fan or someone that's been reading her stuff, they're trash talking her, and she's like, wait a second. And then she keeps on going, and then she sends me this note giving her definition: a dyke being a woman who exclusively beds down with 2 X chromosome females only. So are you a dyke? And then she does this. She's like, throws a letter away, right? Super funny. And then says, I mean, shades of, quote, are you now or have you ever been, end quote. It was insulting, it was depressing, it was infuriating, and the real sad thing was she was dead serious about all this. So this connects up. By the way, this comic came out in 1991, right? So there were woke ass fanatics trash talking other people because they had different definitions of certain words that they associated with, right? And they're trash talking someone who's been around way longer than them, saying that you're not this because you did this. And they're like, what the fuck, right? Throws a letter away and stuff. So I'm like, right on, right on, right on. And then in the same hall, right, in the same hall, again, apologies if I'm not reading the chat, in the same box I found another Naughty Bits, right? And this one came out in 2004, so this is like 13-14 years difference, right? And here's the cover. Here's the cover. And by the way, I picked these up for 25 cents each, right? 25 cents each. All right, here's the cover. I put it in Mylar bag. So this is Naughty Bits number 39. Look it up on eBay, right? Look it up anywhere, right? It's very hard to get, very hard to get. And on eBay, someone's listed this in worse condition than this for $100, right? So I was like, oh, this. The reason I checked this, I didn't check. I checked it afterwards, but I didn't want to check my 19th. I didn't bother checking that one. But some of the comics I bought for 25 cents, I went out. I would go check, and this was one of them because I thought the cover was awesome. And look for the cover, gang. Elder God, I know you're all over this. Naughty Bits number 39. Elder God's like paper in the way. Right. So this is Naughty Bits number 39. If I find was not expecting that for 39. Badass cover, right? And she actually addresses this in the first page, front back page, saying that this cover got a lot of reaction from people before it was even published because she shared it with some people, right? Just to see what they thought, and people are like, "What the hell?" Right? So I'm assuming this is what a cover. This is a hard to get issue. I have no idea. I had no idea, right? I just picked it up because it was Naughty Bits, right? And people were going through the 25-cent boxes he had out there, and they didn't pick this one up because it was it wasn't Marvel. Like, what the F? People go for independent comics. 25 cents, $100, good return for investment, right? Demon Press. Awesome, right? So super good. That's a comic book haul, I guess. But comic book haul I did like 3 years ago that I would start reading now because I bought so many damn comics. Awesome, fun. I thought you guys would get a kick out of that. All right. Beautiful cover though. Beautiful cover. Great stuff, Yeti Punk. Great stuff. Love the cover. Me too. Fantastic cover. Love comics controllers, and me too. Fun. Gang, we're an hour and a half into this. I do have to cut it short a little bit because we did a little bit of mathematics, we did a little bit of politics, we did a little bit of society, and we did some comic books, and we had some good laughs, right? What do you call it? We had some good laughs on Terrence Howard's more trash talk. He seems like a nice guy, man. Like, seriously, he seems like a nice guy, and he's open-minded, going down rabbit holes. Fantastic. Life is great. Go down rabbit holes. Right? And gang, do not forget. This is the most important message of all my streams, really. Free Assange. Julian Assange, publisher and journalist that is being crucified for trying to bring transparency and accountability of capital as power to humanity, something that we desperately need in our societies, right? For more information, see wikileaks.org, candlesforassange.com, or countless resources on free speech platforms, right? And you can find Stella Assange on Substack. I gotta remember to put that link in. Right? So gang, what do you say? Quick hour and a half math live stream. Fun times. Tomorrow we're just gonna have an open discussion. Anything goes, right? For the live stream on CensorTube, if we come across anything that we're going to talk about that we can't do on CensorTube, we'll continue the live stream full on Twitch and Rumble. Okay, so again, if you're on CensorTube, we'll give you a chance. I'll link up anything if it comes up that we can't talk about, because we're into the shadow band list again on CensorTube. I guess we talked about some stuff we pushed a little too far and we're not being recommended again, right? So we'll see where it goes, right? But definitely open discussion tomorrow, 12 p.m. West Coast time, my time, 3 p.m. East Coast time. If you're game, see that. Thank you, Chycho. Always love your streams. Thanks, brother. Thanks. Outro. Let's do an outro. Thanks, Elder God. If you want to know what this work is about, we are on Patreon, Substack, Subscribe. Sorry, you can definitely follow the work there. We do have a gilded server. For now, we're still on gilded. We started talking about maybe moving the server again, just because things are shifting, but we'll see how things play out. We are live streaming on Twitch, Rumble, and CensorTube. You're definitely welcome to watch us on those platforms, and hopefully we'll be adding BitChute and Odyssey soon. Okay, and Elder God, Tuesday, June 4th, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. PST. Straight up open discussion. Let's talk about whatever we want. Everything game. Note, since this is an open discussion, the stream may not be streamed on CensorTube in its entirety. Please join us on Twitch or Rumble to make sure to enjoy the full stream. Right, gang, for some of the streams we do record the audio on soundcloud.com, well, on a lapel mic, and upload it to soundcloud.com as a podcast, and those podcasts should be available on your favorite podcasting platform. We're on Twitter, we're on Minds, we're on VK, we're on Truth Social, we're on Gap, we're on Substack, Notes, and we're on Getter. You're definitely welcome to follow us there. And gang, thank you very much for the support. Mods, thank you very much for being here. Elder God, Cheryl, MC Mike, I think you're a mod on Twitch. I don't know who else was here. Gang, thank you very much for being here, having our backs, keeping us engaged, supporting our community. Salute, gang, and everyone that's here, sharing, liking, subbing, chit-chatting. Salute, gang. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.